This is one of the most terrifying natural disasters that could happen to our planet today or in the near future. And the crazy thing about this disaster is that it can literally wipe out all humans from the face of the earth. But what many people don't know is that these events have happened before and life still continued after the eruption. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to go over some shocking truths about supervolcanoes and human survival. If this sounds interesting, then make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. There are several different volcanoes around the world that have the potential to cause an extinction event if they were to erupt today. Some of these volcanoes include Yellowstone, Krakatoa, Mount Toba, and Novarupta. These supervolcanoes have the potential to destroy entire cities, and even the whole of humanity if they were to erupt with enough force. In order for an eruption to be considered a supervolcanic eruption, it has to have a volcanic explosivity index, or VE rating of 8. This means that the amount of ash and rock that gets ejected during the eruption is more than 1,000 cubic kilometers. The largest recorded eruption in history was the eruption of New Granada in 1912. This eruption had a VE rating of 7, which means that the amount of ash and rock ejected during the eruption was between 350 and 3,000 cubic kilometers. So the question is, can supervolcanoes actually wipe out all humans on Earth? To answer this question, we need to look at what happened when the New Granada volcano erupted in 1912. The eruption of Novarupta was so powerful that it was felt as far away as San Francisco, California. Ash from the eruption covered an area of more than 400 square miles, which is larger than the entire state of Rhode Island. The eruption also caused a tsunami that destroyed villages along the coast of Alaska. Despite the massive size of this eruption, it did not cause any mass extinctions. There were no mass extinctions because the eruption of Mount Novarupta was relatively isolated. The eruption only affected the surrounding area and did not have a major impact on the rest of the world. In addition, the eruption did not occur in a densely populated area. At the time, there were only a few thousand people living in the area surrounding Mount Novarupta, so the eruption did not have a major impact on the human population. This is in contrast to what would happen if a supervolcano were to erupt today. A supervolcano eruption today would have a devastating impact on the human population because there are now billions of people living close to supervolcanoes. For example, there are about 2 million people living within 100 kilometers of Yellowstone National Park. In addition, there are several major cities located close to supervolcanoes. For example, the city of Naples, Italy, is located just 30 kilometers from Mount Vesuvius. If Vesuvius were to erupt with the same force as it did in 79 AD, the entire city would be destroyed. If a supervolcano were to erupt today, it would cause widespread destruction and loss of life. The eruption would cause massive earthquakes and tsunamis that would destroy coastal cities. The eruption column would also block sunlight, causing global temperatures to plummet. This would cause widespread crop failure and famine. And the ash and debris from the eruption would likely cause global wildfires. But what would really happen if a supervolcano were to erupt today? If a supervolcano were to erupt today, it would have a devastating impact on the environment and the economy. The immediate area would be completely destroyed by the force of the eruption. Cities within 100 kilometers of the volcano would be buried in ash and debris. The ash would also contaminate water sources, making them undrinkable. The economy would be devastated by the loss of life and property. The eruption would also have a major impact on the global economy. The price of food and other commodities would skyrocket due to the disruption of supply chains. But what would happen to humans if a supervolcano were to erupt today? If a supervolcano were to erupt today, it would cause the death of millions of people. The majority of deaths would occur in the immediate vicinity of the volcano. However, the ash and debris from the eruption would also cause significant damage to areas far away from the volcano. People who survived the initial eruption would likely die from starvation or exposure to toxic ash. Those who live through this would likely face a nuclear winter, which would last for years. The ash and debris from the eruption would block sunlight, leading to a rapid cooling of the planet. This would cause widespread crop failures and starvation. Now, despite all of this, it is important to remember that supervolcanic eruptions have happened before, and life still continued afterwards. The largest known supervolcanic eruption occurred about 630,000 years ago in the Middle East. This eruption was about 30 times larger than the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Despite this, humans were still able to survive. This is because the eruption did not occur in an area where humans were living. The eruption also did not cause a mass extinction event. Another supervolcanic eruption that humans survived was the eruption of Mount Toba in Indonesia. This eruption was about 3,000 times larger than the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Despite this, humans were still able to survive. This is because the eruption did not cause a mass extinction event. However, it is believed that the eruption did have some negative impacts on human evolution. Some scientists believe that the eruption may have caused a bottleneck effect, which is when a population is reduced to a small number of individuals. This would have reduced the genetic diversity of Homo sapiens, which may have slowed down our evolution. So while supervolcanoes are obviously dangerous and can cause a lot of damage, they haven't always had a major impact on human survival. In fact, there have been many supervolcanic eruptions throughout history that have not caused any mass extinctions. So what does this mean for us today? Well, it means that we should not be too worried about supervolcanoes wiping out all humans. Of course, a supervolcanic eruption would cause a lot of damage and loss of life. However, it would not cause a mass extinction event. Humans are a resilient species, and we would be able to survive a supervolcanic eruption. We have survived many other natural disasters in the past, and we will survive this one as well. Now, this doesn't mean that we should be complacent. We should still be aware of the dangers of supervolcanoes, and we should take steps to mitigate the risks. For example, we should continue to monitor supervolcanoes for signs of activity. We should also develop early warning systems so that people can evacuate the areas surrounding supervolcanoes if an eruption is imminent. In addition, we should develop technologies that can be used to stop or mitigate the effects of a supervolcanic eruption. So what do you think? Do you think that a supervolcanic eruption could wipe out all humans? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Now, speaking of Yellowstone National Park, here's another video that I think you might enjoy. It's all about the secret bunker built under Yellowstone National Park. This bunker was built in the 1960s in the middle of the Cold War. It was designed to be a fallout shelter in the event of a nuclear war. The bunker is still there today, but it is now used as a storage facility for the park. If you want to learn more about this super secret bunker, then check out the video.